they're action takers, and that is good. And now our recording is in the room and started. So I want to welcome everybody to the Infinite Impact Hub webinar. Now, we didn't call it that because until you attend this webinar, you're not really going to know what that means. And so what we did phrase it as is this is how to reach an audience of millions with more ease than ever before. And essentially, we're going to be talking about having your own app. I'll just lay that out right up front. But I want you to bear with it because this is something I've been hearing about apps for a long time. I've known about apps. I've been working on getting one for my podcast. And it's something that I've never fully pulled the trigger on until now. And you'll understand why in a little bit. But the truth about apps is that if you don't have an app, simply put, you're just kind of missing out because the number of searches that go on in the App Store on a daily basis is mind-boggling. And our guest expert today is going to share some more stats with you that will just blow you away and make you come to this realization like, crap, it's like, if I'm not doing this, I literally am leaving money on the table. You're not reaching as many, you're not having the impact that you could have. And it's kind of like I position it a little bit, even though apps, well, I was going to say apps have been around longer than AI, but AI has been around a long time too. But both of them are really powerful tools that people, I think, should be getting on board with. I know we're really getting on board with both in this day and era, and right now, especially with the app world. And so without further ado, I want to introduce you all to a dear friend of mine. I've known this guy for years. I knew him back when he started his company with his brother, App Bros, and that was my first experience of him. But I've gotten to know him more over the years, and I think that's been like 8 years ago. And I've gotten to know him more over the years. And then just recently, we had the wonderful good time to hang out at an event he created in Costa Rica for a week, which was fabulous. I'm already looking forward to doing that again next year. He's multifaceted. That's one of the things that's kind of like me. He's like a Renaissance man. He's got a foot in this world and a foot in this world. And he doesn't have 3 feet, but if he did, he'd have another foot in that world. And all of this, it's like he's spiritual, he's conscious, he's whip smart in business, and he works from the heart. And that's one of the things that make Chris and I love Robert as a dear friend. He's going to be at our wedding, joining us in Cancun next year. I'm sorry, Cozumel. Well, a little. Where were we? So before I screw up anything else and put my foot in my further, let me just say, everybody, my dear pal Robert Evans.
Oh God, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you, Krista. It's good to hang out with you guys. I just jumped from one call over to this call, and I'm furiously, doing certain things here or there. In fact, hi Lynn, was just with me like a few minutes ago, and we were doing these Zoom hopping here. So I'm sure none of you guys do that in your world, right? Not at all, right? So I love being here, and I'm very excited to talk to you guys about why it's very important for you to be looking at having a mobile app for your business and the reasons around that, and to then show you how you can easily, quickly, and affordably not only have a technology that would typically cost tens of thousands of dollars and months to develop and launch, be able to do that not only to have a very kind of high-end app and ecosystem. So that's kind of the best word to describe what is going to be like laid out in front of you here today, is this ecosystem that is going to totally, in my opinion, and I believe most people get this, be an absolute logical step to take in your business for a couple reasons. One is you'll understand why apps and why now, why we got to start looking at putting our businesses, our messages, and our impact in front of people where they're spending their most time, at their fingertips, and giving them access to your world all in one place. And I think that you're going to get that. But what's even more exciting is that you can now, through different technologies, consolidate um, the technology that you're using all over the place. It's in the technology space, it's called your tech stack. And that is all the different technologies you use to run your business online, right? I send emails over here, I do courses over here, I have my website over here, and I have my funnel building over here and that sort of thing. How you can take all of that and put it in one place in and be a part of a very powerful collective community of like-minded people that are all committed to creating change in the world, but they understand the value of not doing that alone. That when we come together in a collective way, not only can we be more effective individually, but we can, as a collective, really create a massive ripple of change because we came together. And I think that's one of the things that's most exciting about what Michael, Krista, and I are working on with this particular project. But I really want you to, before we get into any of that, before I tell you about this extraordinary opportunity to be a part of this collective, I really want you to understand the power of mobile apps and what it's capable of doing if you're using the right platform to do this. So, real quick, um, a little bit of a background of who I am and how I came to be, because I will say this straight up, I did not wake up one morning all excited and said, you know what, I'm going to start an app business. That wasn't something that I was really excited and passionate about. It kind of fell into my lap because of my own needs for wanting to reach more people and have greater engagement with those people, as a transformational leader for the last 25 years. So I've been an entrepreneur my whole life for 41 years since I was 13 years old. I just gave away my age. Been an entrepreneur in some capacity or another. In the last 25 years, I've been in the online marketing space, uh, specifically in the conscious transformational leader space, either with my own message or helping other people get their message out in the world and to create impact also. So I've had a variety of different businesses over the years, everything from a viral marketing product business in which I built my first 100,000 person email list. That was like 22 years ago. It was back in the day that I used to call the glory days of email marketing. When, if anybody was, marketing back in those days, when we would send out an email, we would get like a 70, 80% open rate and like a 30 or 40% click rate. I mean, it was magical back then. Not the case today, and hasn't been the case for a very long time. So I was playing in this space for a very long time. After that business, I started another company called the Messenger Network, and the Messenger Network was all about helping everyday messengers get their message out in the world using the internet and technology. And we did everything under the sun in order to help messengers do that. And then I got a little bit burned out being sitting in front of the computer all the time. I know I'm the only one that feels that way. But one day I just said, I don't know if I can do this anymore. So I sold my business and I decided to start a new business, which was to create transformational trips and take people around the world to places like Africa, Ecuador, Costa Rica, New Zealand, Alaska, all transformational leaders, taking them through very powerful processes. And the trip that we just went on in Costa Rica was kind of a revamp after like almost 8 years of not doing that. And I'm kind of getting back into that a little bit because that's a pretty hard business to pass up in its awesomeness of giving you a lifestyle business type experience. But 8.5 years ago, after doing these transformational trips for about 5 years, I wanted to get back into the online space to share a message that I personally had that I was passionate about getting out into the world. And I sat down one day and I was wondering, well, how am I going to get started again? Because when I was doing the transformational trips, I wasn't online that much. I was doing the basics, but I wasn't doing email marketing. I wasn't doing all the stuff that we typically do today in the way that we do it. And I was trying to figure out, how do I reach more people or at the very least, when I reach people, how do I get them to engage with my message? And at 8.5 years ago, the email marketing started to be less and less effective. And back then it was like you get about a 25% open rate and you get like a 1 to 3 to 5% click rate, which is what really engagement is all about with email marketing. Engagement is not people open your emails. It's when they click and then they go to the place that you want them to go to take the action that you want them to take. That's engagement. That's our ultimate goal whenever we send out an email, right? And so I was seeking out how to best do that. And I knew there's a lot of work that goes into building a list. And in order for me to get the kind of engagement I want, I would have to build another huge list again because I didn't want to just get the little bit here or there. So kind of ironically, I pulled out my phone and I said, I took out my notes app. This is where I kind of go to take notes, And I said, where are people spending their time? Where are they engaging the most? And then I turned that around on myself. Where am I spending my time and where am I engaging the most? And it kind of almost instantly hit me as I was typing that out. Oh, it's here. I'm spending most of my time. I'm engaging with the most content on my phone. So if I wanted to get to people, more people, and to have more engagement, I had to get on their phone, right? So I'm like, well, the only way I can get on their phone is if I have an app. And if they download the app and they open it up, then they can engage in all the things I have to offer, my courses, my events, my content, all the things that I really wanted to put out into the world to teach people, to inspire and impact people. If I could do it on their phones, then I could get great engagement. And I got curious about, well, is that good? Is an app on a smartphone logical? Does it make sense? Are people using this for this type of thing? And I did some research and oh my God, it was like massive like thing that's in front of us all the time, realization that I didn't even know was there. What I found out was that back then, it was 6.5 billion. Today, it's over 7 billion people in the world have smartphones. That's not number of phones, that's number of users. And I started to think about that. I remember being in Africa on one of the trips and going out to a village completely off the grid. There's no power, there's no computers, but people would come up to me in that village asking me for my Facebook profile. That's where they were engaging. People in Africa where there's nothing but phones to engage on. They didn't have computers. And I looked at, well, how many computers are there? Well, today there's about 4.5 billion computers sitting on people's desks. So smartphones, a long time ago, 8+ years ago, surpassed computer use and number of people that we could access by far. And so that's like 86% of the world's population are using smartphones. Then I said, well, okay, but do I need an app? Because I could just send them to my website on their phone. And then I looked at those stats. 90% of the time that people spend on their phones, which is an average about 4 to 5 hours a day, where they pick up and put down their phone an average of 56 times a day, 90% of that time is spent inside of apps, not websites that they access through their phone's browser. Okay, that right there says it all. But then I said, well, if I am on their phone with my app, how do I get them to engage with me? How do I communicate with them? Because email was always my go-to thing to do. And um, so I looked into that a little bit more and I realized, oh, with apps, you can do what are called push notifications. So, the simple explanation of push notification is when you get a text message, you tap on that text message, it opens up your text app. Same thing. If I send a text message to my app users, they tap on that on their phone, it opens up my app and it takes them to the place that I want them to go inside of my app, or even just to open it up and go to the landing page of my app where I can tell them what I want going on. That is the equivalent of someone clicking on a link in an email to engage with me. When they get a push notification, just like receiving an email, and they tap on that push notification, just like clicking on a link in the email, that's engagement. And so I got curious about push notifications. How effective are they? And I did a comparison in stats and numbers. Um, Email versus push notifications. And the numbers are ridiculous. Today, push notifications are 300% more engaging than email. You get a uh, what is it, 30 to 60% opt-in rate to your push list. You get a 90% open rate. Now, let me explain the difference in open rates from an email and a push notification. An email, they have to get the email, click on it, and it opens up, and then they read it. That indicates that it's been opened. A push notification is different. A push notification is sent out and it pops up on their phone, whether their phone is locked or pops up at the top. Now, here's the biggest difference, and this is why the open rate is significantly better and the engagement rate is significantly better than email. The big difference between an email and push notification is this. An email is a multi-paragraph. Let's try to explain. Let's try to convince them this is all the bullets and these are all the things that we want to explain about this thing to get them to engage. So it typically is a bit of a process for people to read and decide to engage. So that's why the engagement, the click rate is so low, because who has time to do that all the time now? A push notification, this is such a really important thing to hear across the board in all of your marketing, is a simple call to action. It's a, hey, this is what I got, click here. Hey, I've got a new video for you to watch called XYZ, tap here. That's it. And believe it or not, that's all people need nowadays to decide to click something. If they downloaded your app, they're interested in what you have to offer. That's like if they go to your website, they're looking for something. When they download your app, they're already your tribe. Now, when you send a push notification, it's a simple call to action. The fact is they see that notification, and upon seeing it, that's what's called the open rate with push notifications. And that open rate on smartphones for push is 90%. That's the biggest number that leads to the 300% more engagement that happens with push notifications over email. So when they see that push notifications, you typically see between a 25 to 40% click rate. When they tap on that, opens up the app, and boom, they're engaging with what you have to offer. That is massive for us if we're looking to reach more people and get the people that we're reaching to do stuff that we want them to do. So that right there was that sold. I'm like, okay, those numbers is all I need to say. I need an app. So I sat down after all these years of being a online marketer and all the ways of creating content. I architect out the exact app that I wanted. I wanted to be an app that delivered any type of content, videos and articles and audio and podcasts and images and journals and all these things, a whole laundry list of different types of content. And then I wanted to be able to build courses so that people could take multi-module courses right there inside of their phone, take a course. And so I didn't have to go out there and have another software that does courses. I wanted it to be a membership portal so I can create membership access that, people specifically had to specific areas of the app or specific content. And I architected out exactly what I wanted. And I said, you know what? If I have to spend $5,000 or $10,000 to build this app, it will be worth it because I know I'll get it back from the engagement and the offers that I can make to my community. And so I sent it out. I'm all excited to about 5 app developers, and reality came back. And the reality was, to this day, I mean, it's changed a little bit with AI, but it's a little bit, but still, it's a different balding with AI. But back then, what came back was the average cost for me to develop that app was over $100,000. And I didn't have $100,000. I was thinking, I'll invest and throw on a credit card $10,000, but I didn't have that kind of money to be able to develop it. So what did I do? the next logical step was I went to my brother, Mark, who was an app developer getting paid a very substantial six-figure income by a corporation in San Francisco that he had to commute to an hour and a half in and an hour and a half back, so 3 hours a day. He was on BART and on cars. And I asked him, can we build a app like this that does all these things, but also build it in a way where we could easily replicate it so that not only could I benefit from this, but I could potentially sell this to other experts and transformational leaders to have for themselves so they don't have to spend this kind of money. And he says, yeah, we could probably do that. So what did a good brother do in a situation like that? I exploited his unhappiness with his job, convinced him to quit his job and start a business. And that business started 8.5 years ago called AppRose Design. Okay. For 3.5 years later, we partnered up with Iman Agai, who became our business partner. We formed the company Action Era, and we invested over the course of a few years over $3 million developing our platform to ultimately build this amazing mobile app platform that does all these things, complete and total content delivery of your business across the board. And we turn it into a simple subscription software that people could sign up for. Okay. Now, long coming to this point, we still have that. That's not what I'm here to tell you about. I'm not here to go, you should go sign up for Action Era. I'm not doing that. And the reason being is for two reasons. There's two reasons why. One is that when you create an app and you publish it in the app stores, the Apple and Android app stores are the two places that apps people go to download their apps. When you do that, it's like self-publishing a book. That once it's in the app store, you are, other than just the traffic that you get, that people find you in the app store, are going to be responsible for getting everybody to download your app. It's like if you self-publish a book, who's responsible for selling that book? You are. You're the self-published author. When you publish an app on the App Store, you got to get people to go to the App Store to download it. So it's great. It's a good thing to have, but it doesn't necessarily give you the traffic and exposure that you want, that you need in order for your app to grow. So what's the next best thing? Well, the next best thing is to step out of the mindset that you have to do this all by yourself, that you have to be just a solopreneur and this is, I'm doing this and therefore I have to drive it all here, and get into the mindset of collaboration and community. Because if you are a part of a collective, like-minded community that are all looking to accomplish a single goal, let's say the goal is impact in people's lives, whether it's business, personal growth, relationships, health, or whatever. We all have this collective desire to impact people's lives. If you join and you're part of that community, the community or the collective can together drive people into the community for everybody to get exposure and traffic so that you're not alone in putting your message in front of a lot more people. Right? And if there's one thing that I learned from being partners with Iman in and over the years is how critical it is in your business to truly embody, embrace, and pursue joint ventures, collaborations, and being a part of a collective. In fact, I think that I've come to this conclusion in my long years of doing this work. That's the single most important marketing strategy you can implement in your business today, is to seek out collaborations, joint ventures, and being a part of a community, a collective community that serves and support each other, while at the same time sharing our own personal messages. It doesn't take anything away. What we do is we kick the whole concept of competition. We don't believe in that anymore. We go for true just collaboration. So anyway, that is what this is all about. So we in Action Era, what we decided to do, and this is kind of getting to the point here, so I can start telling you about this amazing idea that we've come up with in order for Michael and Chris's community to get plugged into a true, powerful, traffic generating, exposure generating collective community. Is that in Action Era we said, how can we solve the problem of cost, time and headache of building and launching an app in the App Store, because even though we save tens of thousands of dollars, it still takes like 2 months to launch an app. It still costs more money than you would typically want it to take, and you're still on your own, because when the app is in the App Store, you're on your own, and there's no collective that's driving people there unless you get JV partners that send people to your app. So what ActionAero did is that we built a new side of our platform, and we created what's called the enterprise community. And the enterprise community is a community app that is focused on a particular message or topic or mission or movement. And it's not about anyone in particular. It's about those things. And then inside of that app are experts who are aligned with that mission or movement that have their own message. And when someone goes to that particular expert and they tap a button that says launch our app, what happens is it takes that community app that's at the forefront that people have downloaded from the App Store, and it pushes the community app in the background, and it pulls that experts app into the foreground. So now I'm inside exclusively the world of that expert. I don't have to go to an app store. I don't have to wait months or multiple weeks to launch. I can literally sign up and get an app in the community that does all of the things that ActionAero was built to do: share content, membership, courses, events, podcasts, galleries, you name it. There's a long, long, long list of all the features and functionality of our platform, and it's the ultimate platform out there for experts. And it takes all of that, it brings you to the foreground. Now that person that's in there gets to play in your world. And then if they want to go switch to another experts app, they can switch to another experts app. So what it ends up being like is that community app that is downloaded from the app stores. It's almost like it's its own app store where there's multiple experts in that community that have their own apps within the main community app that people can launch and explore everything that you got going on. So this is where the power really comes in. This is where the solopreneur and the competition concept gets tossed out the window. Every person that's in that app is sending people to download that community app so that everybody that's in that app gets the collective exposure and traffic of everybody promoting one place. Does that make sense? You guys kind of cool. Couple head nods there. So I'm wondering, would you guys like me to show you visually what this looks like? All right, cool. All right, Jack, I like that's cool, man. I didn't know you could do that with Zoom. Okay, here we go. I'm going to share my screen on my phone. And I'm at the age now, Michael and I, we were joking in Costa Rica, we would forget our readers. So we would borrow each other's readers whenever one forgot the other. So, but Michael, check this out. But I ordered like 6 from Amazon just the other day. So all the 6 that I had in Costa Rica are all gone. I don't know what happened there. So
Robert, just a quick aside, I keep one in every single room because
that's what I'm doing now.
Remember, take the office ones off so that you don't mix them up with the ones in the other room, but every room has a pair.
The car, the room, yeah, the bathroom, you name it, right? All right. Yeah. So share my screen. I need you to give my alter ego co-host access. All right, cool. All right, so let me share my screen. Okay, cool. So I have here's a good example of an app. So let me launch this. It's an app called Impact Hub. It's one of our community apps. And when you open it up, this is the app that you actually download from the App Store. It's not the app. It's a app that you download from the App Store. It's not the app that I'm going to tell you about tonight or today. All right. So when I'm inside this app, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that the app does. It has all this content that's organized under different topics and, videos and all that sort of thing. And it's generic content. It's not content that's driving a specific person forward. It's actually content that's going to come from the collective experts that are inside the community. Now, inside the community, when you go to the businesses or the experts that are in here, we organize them under different categories. So if I click on personal growth, these are the different apps that are within this app. So notice I'm in Impact Hub, but if I go to and I click on, let's say, Unbound Living and click on launch our app, here's what happens. It gives me a message that says you're about to switch from Impact Hub to this business. And then Impact Hub goes in the background. And now I'm in Matt's Unbound Living app. Everything in here, all of his courses, his lessons, all that sort of thing. This is Matt's content. And I'm inside of his world now. But if I wanted to switch, I could go up to switch business and I can go to another app that I've already launched and I tap on it. And now I'm inside of Jeremy's app, GPS to Life Success. And I'm inside of his world and I can go through all of his content. He's got action lists and he's got all kinds of different stuff that he does in here. Got a lot of great content. And then if I want to go back to the main app, Impact Hub, then I can click on Impact Hub. It will return to the main app where I can browse more businesses and that sort of thing. This is what we mean by having apps within a single community app. And so let me stop sharing my screen. So the technology, there's nothing out there like it. You literally get this account to create your content of your business as simple or as detailed as you want. And your business exists inside of the community. So when you send people to download that community app, and other people send people to download that community app, collectively, we're driving all of our traffic to one place to explore all the people that are inside of it. so, so now how does this relate to Michael, Krista, and I, and our desire to collaborate to create impact? Well, Michael saw an invitation that I did about a week ago to join Impact Hub. And it was a very limited number of people that could be in there. We've already filled all the spots. Impact Hub has all these particular spots that are filled. And Michael saw it. He saw the value of it. And he signed up for infinite leads to be a part of Impact Hub. And then I saw that. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. I love that Michael and Krista are part of this. So I got on the phone with them and I said, hey, guys, what if we created a community app for your community? What would that look like? And do you see the value in this? And we did that. And very quickly, we don't mess around, do we, guys? We jumped on this in a matter of a short period of time. We built a community, and it's an app that's going to be launching here in the next week or two at the latest, called Infinite Impact. And basically, it's going to be a hub for leaders like you to have your own app with your message inside of there. And collectively, as the community grows, as the experts expand in there, and we have very high level leaders there in there. Danella Burnett's going to be in there. Iman's app's going to be in there. My app's going to be in there. Collectively, we already have about 100 and well, probably close to 200,000 people on our list collectively that will launch Infinite Impact. And then any other business that's in there will get exposure if they're part of that community. So here's what's awesome about this is that the offer to be in Infinite Impact is a simple monthly subscription where you get a high-end app that delivers any kind of content. And then you actually get an option in which you can get an entire marketing portal in which you can run your entire online business in. funnel building, calendars. Anybody ever heard of Go High Level? Basically, we've got a Go High Level white labeled agency that we give an account to anybody that's part of the Infinite Impact plan called the Pro Plus plan. So I'm going to share my screen and show you the Infinite Impact page here. And I want to just break this down. I want to show you why this is so unbelievable. Not only for all the reasons as I gave you, hopefully you guys heard why apps, why now? This is not something that's coming. This has been here for like 8 years. And why is it important to consolidate and save money and time in things in one place? And that's exactly what Infinite Impact does. So this is the website. It's infiniteimpact.app. And basically, when you join Infinite Impact as one of the leaders that are inside of this, you get your own branded app within the community. You actually get a mirrored website. So you're wondering, what if someone doesn't want to take my course in my app? Well, they'll go to a www website version of your app. So you get actually a full-blown content-driven, membership-driven website that comes along with your app. And if you sign up for the Pro Plus version, you get that $300 version of Go High Level as per month. You get listing in the directories, you get spotlights and different things. We give you all kinds of different stuff. We have this track a card concept that we'll introduce you to. I mean, I could go on for literally an hour showing you all the benefits and all the reasons and all the ways as a community we're going to help promote you and build a massive community of people that are committed to impact in the world. And basically, this is how it works. People will download the Infinite Impact app. They'll find you listed in a particular category. They'll tap on launch our app. The app will then transform into your app. And it's all about the collective reach. And we've got Michael and Krista is going to be in there. Infinite Leads is going to be in there. New Media Cruise is going to be in there. Some of their top partners are going to be in there. My apps that I have are going to be in there. We have an email list of 70,000 people that we'll be promoting this app to. Danella Burnett, Imana Guy. We're going to be bringing on other really high level leaders. And what does it cost? For your own app within the community and a complete marketing portal, which is worth $300 a month. If you went anywhere else, it's $149 a month. Or if you don't need the marketing portal, let's say I already have my own Go High Level account, or I use Keep or whatever other CRMs that are out there, you can sign up for $97 a month and just get the app, get the exposure, and get the value of being a part of the community. And so this is what this is all about. We are excited to not just, hey, we just got this software that you can sign up for. I mean, it's exciting. Don't get me wrong, it is pretty darn cool. But what's really special about what Michael, Krista, and I are doing is we're creating a community that is all aligned with the belief that if we come together while we're still individual in our message, but we come together in community and drive the collective traffic into one place, we all benefit. That we all together can work to change people's lives, to change the world better collectively than we would do it if we were on our own. And that's ultimately my call to action to you today is join us. Be a part of the community, be a part of the collective, be a part of the infinite impact that we're setting out to do with this project. And I think it's going to be absolutely incredible when it releases and the work that we're going to do together. So I'm not passionate about this at all. I don't know if you guys have noticed at all, but there's two things that I'm passionate about. I love the concept of this collective community, but I'm also really passionate about working with Michael and Krista because I love these two so much that I can't wait to do this work together with them.
I kept wanting to jump in and ask questions and check in on the audience, but I wanted to give you a chance to just get all the way through everything, Robert. we are very, very sincerely excited about this as well. And I wanted to kind of mention in the beginning, Michael was talking about, what he thinks about apps. And the truth is, for a couple of years, like he heard about it, but he's kind of like, yeah, I don't need one of those. I've got so much going on. We use Kajabi, we use Entreport, we've got our programs and our courses places. He's like, I don't know about this. And I kind of give him a little bit of a hard time for being older than me and being like, you just got to catch up with the times. I'm like, um, and so finally, honestly, if like this time when you just put this out there, Robert, Michael was like, yes, like we have to do this. It absolutely makes sense. And we want to bring everybody in our community along with us to make sure that they have this opportunity. And so I wanted to ask Robert, just kind of you looking at the money side of things, because people are always like, "Ooh, how do I make this work?" What would it cost if someone just wanted to get their own app? Just kind of ballpark. If they're like, "Yeah, I want to do my own app outside of this offer, outside of Actionera and Infinite Impact," if they just went out
Yeah.
and hired someone, what would that approximately look like just to get things set up?
For someone to do an app for you at the level that Actionera has developed, do all the features and functionality, it's still a six-figure investment. But but that's, I mean, that's easy. I mean, that's because it's actually very complicated technology. But let's just even look inside of Actionera. To launch now inside of Actionera a branded app on the App Store where you're totally responsible for the success of that app, it's a $2,500 setup fee and it's $149 a month.
Okay.
So
Which
even
I'm sure is
through
a very
directly through
reasonable,
us,
good investment.
yeah. Yeah, it's significant. In fact, we have a software that's at what's called the tech assessment, and it assesses where you're spending money on your tech stack. Like,
Mhm.
I have my CRM that costs me this, and I have ClickFunnels that cost me this, and I got this. And what we find is that 90% of people that go through that tech assessment spend upwards of 2 to 3 times more to have all the features that Actionera charges in this particular case $149 a month for. Most people are spending $300 to $400 to $500 a month on technology, whereas with this thing, you get it all. It's really crazy.
I noted in the chat, I like to use the chat and throw out things that are great nuggets. And you mentioned this right in the beginning, that this is a way to simplify your business instead of, it's not one more thing to add to it. It's one more thing that when you add to it, you're most likely going to get to replace several other things. And that's on your side. We want ease in our own business, but even more so, we want ease in our customers.
Yeah.
We want that interface with us and their connection with us for our own clients to be
Yeah.
easeful. So can you speak to what that looks like?
Yeah, that's such a great question because I call that experience for our customers what's called technology fragmentation. What that means is this, is that for most people that are trying to run a real legitimate, robust online business, they have to use different technologies to accomplish different tasks. So let's say, for example, I build a course, so I go over to, let's say, Kajabi or Thinkific, and I build a course over there. But then I need to build landing pages, and I have to go over here and do this. It's a technology fragmentation for both you as the owner and as the client. And what ends up happening is you ping pong your clients to go log in over here for my membership and go over here to take my course and go do this for this landing page. And what happens is that you're just sending your clients all over the place and nothing is really, concise and consolidated into one place. So that's why we developed Actionera to be this one place for them to get any and all content that you have to deliver for your business on their phone or on a website. And then anything and everything you need to do to run your business online is done through the marketing portal. So there's two logins for the expert, the app login and the marketing portal login. And both of those allows them to run their entire business and gives their clients a single source place to go to get everything. So no more ping ponging, right?
No more ping ponging. All right, so that talks to your current clients. Let's talk about how the app can be used for to generate more exposure. Is it a way that you can actually bring in new leads, or is this just for current clients?
No, that's the power of the collective. So let's say I have 1,000 clients, 1,000 people on my list, and I send them into the collective and tell them to come. And there's strategies, and we're going to give everybody strategies. Like I'm going to say, go download Infinite Impact, and when you download it, I'm going to give you a code, and they'll input that code into the app, and they'll get a special from me, a special deal from me, like a freebie or something like that I have to offer. On that special page, there's a button that will launch my app so they can then go inside of my app, right? But once they're inside of Infinite Impact, they're going to get curious about other businesses. And they're going to go around and go, oh, I really like Robert's stuff, but I heard a lot about Michael. He's kind of weird, and I think I'd like to go explore his stuff. And then they see Michael in there, and they literally click on that. So what happens is that because of the collective traffic that's coming in, that is significantly more than your own traffic, you get a lot of new people. So but here's the key thing. When someone launches your app, they're presented with an option. Do you want to receive push notifications from this expert? So let's say, Krista, I go to your app, I launch it, and it says, do you want to receive push notifications from Krista? I'm going to say yes. Now, Krista, you've built another person onto your push notification list.
That's fantastic. I'd love to open up to questions in the room, insights, light bulbs that have gone off, and of course take advantage of Robert's expertise on this because we've got a hard stop at the top of the hour, so we'd love to jump in. All right, Jack.
Yeah.
Get you unmuted, Jack. Let's see if I can do it.
Okay. I was not allowed to unmute until just 2 seconds ago.
We had the
So-
locks on.
Well, thank you for taking the lock off, right? Now, when a prospective client comes into the Infinite Impact, they are then open to other people within the collective to peruse and or look at their work, their courses, curriculums, and so forth. So going from the scarcity principle, someone would think, oh my gosh, I've opened up all this competition, with that person came in through my portal.
Yep.
As opposed to the abundance mindset, oh wow, there's just more and more and more. The more I get in, the more there is. So in interpreting with the prospective client coming in, how do you reconcile that with people coming into this this community?
Well, honestly, anybody that is thinking that won't be an expert in the app. They just simply won't join because they are thinking from that scarcity mindset. I believe that everybody that says yes to this, that signs up for this, believes that there's more than enough, that my clients are still going to be my clients, that no one else is going to be stealing them from me, that they're not going to have that mindset. Otherwise, I don't think that they would join. So I think that everybody that's a part of this is believing in the power of the collective. They are getting rid of the whole concept that this is a competitive environment that I'm competing against, and that they're going to get value from the collective as a result of that. So yes, will there be people that will think that way? Yes, but those aren't going to be the people that are going to be signing up.
I'll also add to that
Well-
that there's each person with the app or business has their own unique angle. Lynn, who's in the room, for example, she helps people with grief, and it's something that's very different than what we do. And so the apps that are offered are named according to the value that they give. And in most cases, it's something that people would be interested to learn more about, but it wouldn't be two people doing the exact same thing where they need to pick one or the other.
Jack, and to take it even a step further, I would equate it to this. I would be foolish to not have my podcasts, of which I have 6 of them. I would be foolish to not have them listed in Apple Podcasts. And yet when I tell people go, I mean, I'm just one of millions of podcasts out there. And so, but it's valuable that I think all these people are driving a podcast audience, and some will find mine. And the other piece I wanted to add, that I don't know how deeply you dug into this, Robert, but the fact is that regardless of who's looking within our group, okay, that we're sending personally driving traffic, there are, I think it's 750 million app store searches a week. Okay, so that's over 2 billion per month, people looking through. And so you become more discoverable being in there. And then of course, we just drive a lot more to the community with it. And Chris and I, we just never worked from the scarcity mentality. And one other thing that we even teach is we teach about joint venture partnering, is that when you start to grow a big list, which ours is really substantial now, you find that only 1 or 2% of your list will ever buy from you. So I would rather that other 98% find what they're looking for. And that's part of why we believe in creating this community. So like, hey, maybe you're not right for my podcast training, but there's other people in here who maybe would be. So that's also what we do.
Okay, very good, Michael. Thank you.
Yeah.
You bet.
Cool.
Corinne.
Hi.
Corinne's a new-
Hi. Hi,
Hi.
Robert. This is genius stuff, just so you know. But so I am in Go High Level, and I will be transferring everything. I joined yesterday, by the way, and I got on this call just to learn everything again, what what the app does. And I think I see too a lot more coaches starting to use apps. Couple that I had to download some things from a giveaway. 2 of them were apps. You know, it's obviously the trend that's going to be up and coming, right? So it's great to be on the forefront for that. Is there a limit to the amount of people that you're going to let in that app?
We're looking at right now 100. And we're going to see how that feels. If it feels like that's a cap and like we should probably cut it at that, we'll cut it at that. But as you probably know, and this is interesting too, because Corinne is also one of our members at Infinite Leads. As you build anything that has a membership base to it, you find that a lot of people are just kind of non-participating.
Yeah.
They just kind of get in there, and then they really, like, I guarantee you, we'll have probably some people jump in and don't even get their app done. And so we may, if we look at that and we find that there's space to do some more, then we might. But right now our target is 100.
Okay, cool. And the other thing is so I use mine for community instead of school, everything, right? So I love having, this is awesome. And I build my own funnels, even though I have a VA and stuff, but because I like to do that stuff. So, what I was going to ask, when I bring members, my clients into my community, that's private, correct? We can keep it private from where I'm marketing and stuff.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Once they're inside your app and they become a member, that's your information only. So
Okay.
there's no shared membership. There's just shared traffic.
All right. Great. Thank you very much. I'm excited.
Yeah,
Nice.
me too.
Yeah, we are
One other
too.
thing I want to say too, and Robert, I don't know that I've ever shared this with you before, but you talked about it slightly, and I want to just dive in a little deeper. Here's an app from a friend of mine. It's called the Self-Discovery Deck. Okay, so she does triple spiral labyrinths, and she decided to create an app that is a deck. But that's like you said, it doesn't have any course in it, doesn't have any videos. It's literally like a little bounce to picture to image to page. And those, if that's all you wanted, go build something like that somewhere else. But if you want an app that will house your course and your videos and do all the push notifications, all the other stuff, this is the way to go. It's so phenomenal. Like when you showed me like what the apps in there could do, I was blown away. I'm like, are you kidding me? All of that for this amount? That's why I was saying, I'm like, I got to bring this to our people. This is incredible. So
Yeah, I don't even use Facebook group as an incubator anymore. I like to send them to totally just like a community, which is great.
yeah, it's crazy good.
And it's also worth mentioning is that in the next, before the end of the year, we're releasing a brand new version of the platform that'll apply across the board for everybody. That changes this massive long list of changes and improvements to the way it looks and how it functions. We're actually going to be building into it a relationship between the app and a a community technology that in most cases will replace the way people use Facebook to create groups and interactions and chats and that sort of thing. So we're bringing in some really, really cool, amazing community features for interaction between your members that are inside your app and the members that are part of the community app itself.
Nice. I love it.
I love that.
Krista mentioned it, but we do have another call at the top of the hour for our Infinite List community. So we have about 3 minutes left. If there are any other burning questions before we go, please
Everybody
raise your hand.
have the website. It's right here in the chat. Open it up. Get that open in your browser so you can take action when we close the room.
Yeah, be sure to take advantage of this because we will be closing it off after those 100 right now. And so, and you heard Corinna's joined, so we've already got people coming in. This call is going to go on a replay tomorrow and out to our YouTube channel, and it will fill up. So if you're even on the fence about this at all, jump on in. And I will add, and I know, of course, I honestly, I mean, don't jump in if you're just going to turn around and quit. But the truth is, there's no long-term commitment either. Right, Robert?
No,
I mean, you made me commit.
because it's just a monthly subscription. Is that when you when it doesn't feel right for you anymore, then just opt out. So we don't hold you to anything.
Yeah, so I would jump in and take advantage of this while you can. This is such a great offer. It's a real no-brainer, and I look forward to playing with y'all. I know Robert does as well, and we're real excited to bring this out to everybody. And again, the replay will be available tomorrow, and share it with friends too. Invite them to come and check it out. If you know anybody else in the industry, maybe you even know people who are using an app of some sort, or they want to upgrade or anything. Krista?
I just want to throw out one more thing, which is there is support and what to do next. Right now, it's kind of just the idea, and you might be thinking, well, I mean, I could do it, but I don't know what's actually going to happen next. But that's okay because between Robert and Michael, we've got your back. As to what your ideas are, what your business is, will help you come up with how to best utilize the app and how to do it easily.
Yeah,
and
we'll
quickly.
definitely do some collective calls or group calls, and we have someone that onboards you through the whole process. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So welcome aboard. We look forward to playing with y'all in the very near future. And Robert, thank you so much for presenting this. Each time I hear, I look more, and we really appreciate you, brother. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Always a good time. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Ciao, everybody. Bye-bye.